listening to All Chiefed Up.
East Kingdom ACU crew, we're back for another live podcast for that ass. Steve, Saturday, Chiefs are on day 6. I think ESPN was there today. Was it ESPN, NFL Live? Somebody was there live today.
Espen was in the house?
No, I think it was NFL
I don't
Live.
know. I don't know what the hell was going on, but I'm glad they're in camp. I mean, I know we're 6 days in, but it still feels new, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's new. I think they actually took each other to the ground today. Like,
they
had the pads
people?
on yesterday, but I don't think they were actually tackling. I think today they're actually hitting somebody a little bit. Wasn't just two-hand touching.
Let's freaking go, man.
Yeah,
appreciate you guys being here. Little impromptu live stream. We figured we'd come on, talk about camp for today, and get you guys the news a little quicker than making a video, and it saved us some trouble. Why not? Why not do that? But do us a favor, hit the like button, get this out to more people, and obviously, if you're new to the channel, you'll like it here. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, come back and see us sometime. But yeah, Mike, they had camp today. Pads are on. Lots of fun stuff going on. And the Chiefs actually put out a story kind of covering their top 5 observations from Saturday's practice. So Matt McMullen, shout out, Chiefs reporter. So what was the first one, Mike? First observation was just that they were live streaming some of Saturday's practice. So in case you guys didn't know, the Chiefs are actually live streaming portions of their practice. It says that we went live from camp on Saturday for the second time this summer. The broadcast included shots from practice, in addition to some commentary along the way. We're tentatively set to air additional training camp live segments on July 31st and August 5th, so mark your calendars down because you might be able to watch some of the practice live those days.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of it. It was kind of cool. They do good work. I mean, come on. You can't not watch it. It's something that a lot of people were watching it today, by the way. They had over 11,000 views today, and on a Saturday, that's pretty good. People are tuning in. People want to see what's happening, and you'll get some footage, you'll get some stuff. They got a little bit more access than a lot of people. Let's be honest. It's the actual Chiefs doing it, Steve. But let's jump right into number 2. The Chiefs took the field in pads for the second day in a row, obviously. A day after taking the field in pads for the first time all offseason, the Chiefs were back in pads for Saturday. The lone difference between the two sessions was this Saturday's practice was about 15 minutes longer than Friday, and they continued to ramp up the full workload. The padded practices differ significantly from the non-padded sessions in that the Chiefs can actually make contact. For example, Friday's practice included one-on-one drills. O and D line could simply take their place earlier in the offseason. Another area that was emphasized over the last 2 days was the running game. Steve, yes, the running game has been big. The offensive line, the one-on-one drills. We're finally getting to see it. We said this. It's been a pass camp for 2 months.
Right.
It's just how – and look – and when I say pass camp, it's legitly a pass camp. Like, the defense hardly can't compete when it's 7-on-7. And you would think it would favor the defense because you're like, well, they don't have to worry about the run. They don't got to keep their eyes in the backfield. But, yeah, look, they don't have anybody blitzing. They don't have anybody applying pressure to the QB.
Right? Yeah.
It's a little harder when one guy knows exactly where he's going and you're shadowing someone. And, by the way, can't touch them after 5 yards. Can't grab them. Can't do this. Can't do that. It's tough on the defense. The defense has been raring to go, Steve. Like, they have been chomping at the bit to hit somebody.
Absolutely, man. They've been ready to go. And you got guys like Felix who's trying to prove himself this year, right? He didn't get to do a whole lot last season. Entire fan base kind of down on him. They're like, oh, another round 1 bust from the Chiefs. Felix didn't do squat. So I think, he hears that stuff, and he's ready to get out there and show them what he can do. He worked all offseason with Tom Bahali. Probably hung out with George Karlaftis a lot. That's where he got that idea. I think he's working on his game, and I think he came out raring to go the other day, and he looked really good.
Felix looked really good yesterday. He would have had a sack. I want to say it was on Mahomes or Carson Wentz, one of the two, but I think it was Mahomes. He would have had a sack, and I think Mahomes stepped up. Obviously, they didn't blow the play dead. He launches one deep, and he was going deep. I want to say for Xavier Worthy possibly, and Josh Williams made a good play on the ball, I think, knocked it out of the air. So, look, they're doing what they need to do. They're getting after it, Steve. I know this has nothing to do with what I don't think any of their observations were, but an observation I seen today, and it's not really an observation, but it's just the fact that Najee left practice injured again. He tweaked a hammy today. So the other day they were looking at his knee. They said everything was good. He comes back the next day. He's rotating with the ones, and today he leaves the field with a hammy. Also, if you guys have heard the reports, Justin Ross left on practice on a cart, and people thought he had something going on. But no, that was just an equipment issue. Like, he was able to get that corrected.
He's just being lazy. Just wanted to ride the cart.
Najee Johnson is the one that it's just the tweaked hammy, and we don't know how much it is. You know, hammies can be something that lasts for a long time. Hammies can be something that, you know, come and go, and you can play through it. You never know what you're going to get.
Najee Johnson needs some Flintstone vitamins. Get some calcium in there or something.
Well, the other day I think was just totally precautionary. Then today, the actual tweak. It makes you look bad when you know what I mean? Like when you just keep having to be checked out, but
right. You don't want to be the Kadarius Toney of the defense.
Well, no, but you're coming back from an ACL. Like you gotta be cautious here.
Yeah, true. We got Pop in the house with the 20 bomb. Let's go, old man. What's up?
Go.
Haven't seen you in a while. He cooked me some burnt ends. He smoked a brisket like 2 weeks ago, and I went and ate, and then that was it.
The burnt ends.
They were really good, too. Mike, we also have a 5 bomb from Chaos and Order. So I can't wait to watch the Chiefs punish the Raiders for that stunt they pulled with the Kermit puppet. Man, I can't either, especially after Patrick Mahomes' response of just, it'll get handled when it gets handled. He's getting ready to pour it on him, man. It's going to be fun.
Mahomes handled it classy. They asked Andy Reid about it, and he said, look, we don't play with puppets at practice. We actually do work. So Andy handles it the way Andy does it, like a boss. And look, Raiders fans are having a fun time. They think that they're good because they've beat Mahomes 2 times and literally, like, they've beat the Chiefs 2 times in, I want to say, 6 to 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes has only lost to them twice.
Right. So they think they've done something, okay, because they beat us on Christmas. It's cool. Let them have their whatever. I'm sure they're going to hang a banner, do something. But they're irrelevant. And anybody going out with a QB battle that features Gardner Minshew, they're not going to be relevant again this year, guys. I 100% can guarantee that. Will they play out of their butts when they play us? Absolutely. Everybody tends to do so, especially even bad trash teams like Denver, and the Chargers will be a little bit more solid this year because you won't have the coach going on every single fourth down.
He's a moron.
Okay, so they may be in some games a little bit closer, but
did you see what Jim Rome had to say about the whole thing? He roasted the Raiders, bro.
What did he say? Because I mean,
I can't even paraphrase it. It was like 5-minute rant about how they suck and the Chiefs are far superior and won the Super Bowl in their stadium. And he went on and on and on, man. He really let them have it. You should watch it.
The fans and everybody's like, oh, well, Chief fans are just soft. He does sound like Kermit. Okay, he does sound like Kermit.
Yeah, we know. We've been talking about it for 7 years now.
But we talk about Kermit. You can't talk about it. You're an opposing fan, okay? Like, you guys know you're trash and you're soft.
Look, man, I can say my kid's funny looking, but you can't.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the equivalent, right? I didn't mean to take that off, but Pop been a member for 9 months now. Check that out. He's been supporting the channel for half of its existence. No, I'm just kidding. That's that stupid YouTube thing. But appreciate it, old man. He says KT actually looking like a football player. A lot of people have that sentiment, Mike, but is it one of those things where KT always looks like a really awesome athlete and a good football player in camp, or if he's not hurt, and then he disappears into oblivion mid-season or whatever he does?
Well, I think that the wide receiver room, we are watching right before our eyes a big shakeup, in my opinion. I'm seeing huge amounts of bubble players that we thought were bubbles and maybe on the wrong side of the bubble. We're seeing an immense push from that side. And I'm talking about Nikko Remigio. By the way, he made the cover today. He is fighting. He is killing it. Nikko Remigio's playing ball.
Yeah.
Washington, the kid that come up and done some punch yesterday. Dude, he laid out for a ball today and just dove and made a beautiful catch. The other day, he caught a 60-yard bomb in the end zone and does a backflip. That kid is playing football. Like, the only ones you're not seeing big football from right now is Justin Watson due to an injury. But beforehand, he's playing and running with the ones. And then you see the guys like Nico and all them stepping up. You're not seeing a lot from Mecole Hardman. That's kind of telling. I'm not seeing huge things from Mecole Hardman. We're seeing about what we ever do from Mecole. And you're not seeing a lot from Sky Moore either. And look, Sky Moore is firmly a bubble player. Look, I can say all day long that I would like to see Sky Moore get more time to develop.
Work to do
and be used properly. But if you can't beat these guys in camp, you just don't deserve to be on the team. So it is what it is. But yeah, KT's looking good, man.
Hey, P Swizzle with the 2 bomb says, okay with Nikko on the 53 and Sky in the practice squad. I think a lot of people are right there with you. Nikko right now, I think, has a pretty good little lead in this. If they're the 2 that's going for that last roster spot, Nico's the clear favorite at the moment. Sky's got some work to do, man. He's got to get on it, get out there, prove himself a little bit. I mean, if anything, just make a few solid catches to get everybody off your back. You know, we don't see every little thing that coaches do, ins and outs, but I'll say as far as like splash plays, hype, like anything like that, Nico's head and shoulders above him right now.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It's hype at this time of year. Coaches don't buy into hype. Coaches aren't on X. Coaches aren't just sharing highlights, okay? They're watching the full film. They know everything about it. Nikko could be putting out tons of good highlights right now. You know, he could be winning one-on-one drills. But at the end of the day, if Nikko doesn't know, for example, 60% of the playbook because he's not ran enough with the ones and different things like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's some things that we may not know.
He missed a lot of time. He did.
Right.
So
there are things. And look, another thing, too. Sky Moore goes to practice squad. He's gone. They know that. Sky Moore's not going to clear waivers and stay on the practice squad.
Nikko might be there, too. I feel like
Nikko's close to.
I feel like people are seeing him. I think he's starting to make more of a name for himself, probably league wide. There's probably some people with their eye on him.
Look, there are several players in our receiver room, Steve, that you cannot put on the practice squad. Justin Watson cannot be put on the practice squad. Like, he would be poached. Nikko is probably going to get poached at this point. KT, Sky, Kadarius Toney, none of these guys. So as much as Chiefs Kingdom hate them, there are teams out there that do value these kinds of players.
Absolutely. Got a 2 bomb from Doug. What's up, Doug? He says, shout it out loud for Nikko, baby.
People love Nikko. I think we were right. Didn't we say he was going to be the camp darling this year? And so far, he's proven it. I wish you would stop singing while I'm talking, okay?
Don't sass me like that in front of my friends, okay? I'm happy about Nikko.
Shout it out loud for an hour.
Obviously, Doug. He paid $2 for me to sing it. I think that's what he meant anyway. Appreciate the 2, Doug. Got a 10 bomb from Ron. What's up, Ron?
Let's go, Ron.
Appreciate the support, brother. He says, I'll take Nikko and Prince over LRZ. I'm tired of the hype or whatever is going on. Sorry to be a buzzkill. Also, looking at Prince's college highlights remind me of myself in college. Nice, man. So I haven't seen your college tape, so I can't comment on that. But Prince, I mean, he was the hype machine last year. Was Deneric Prince?
Was up there.
He's going to be just like Isaiah Pacheco. We're going to get, of course he was a UDFA, not a 7th rounder, but hey, we had this guy, everybody passed on. We found him. He's a diamond in the rough. He's going to be amazing, and then it didn't pan out. But I do think that he has a lot of killer tape out there. Just his frame, speed, like Deneric Prince has like all the tools to get on this squad, and I think that's where he's at right now. I think he's RB3 at the moment, but LRZ, Mike, lots of hype, but then it kind of died down really quick when the pads came on, which a lot of people suspected. And I don't think it's necessarily that he can't take a hit, but it's just that he's not used to this game in particular and all the ins and outs. He don't have the instincts. What do you think, Mike? Do you think LRZ is going to have a tough time making this squad if they don't just feature him in special teams?
LRZ is not going to win a spot on this 53-man roster if it's for running back only. He's not going to do it. He's just too far behind the 8 ball. He's too far behind. Lots of physical traits. But look, they got somebody got some film of him today taking a handoff, and there is a hole the size that K. Wayne could drive a semi-truck through. And he missed it by a mile and ran right into 2 people. Okay. His field vision's not there. His football instinct is not there. Is that something that can be developed? Yes. But look, there's college players. Do you realize how good you have to be to go from high school to a Division I college? Do you know how good you got to be to be recruited? Do you know how good you got to be to now stand out at a Division I college and be drafted in the NFL draft? And then turn around and make a team? Do you know how elite you have to be? And there are still guys on teams today that do not have superior vision and speed and everything else like that. So that's how far behind LRZ is. Let's put that into perspective. That's how far behind he is. Great upside, but he is super far behind, and it's showing now that they've got the pads on and he's doing it. So can they find ways to use him? Absolutely. Can they find gimmicky plays to use him in? Absolutely. But if it is just to be a backup to Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the case of an emergency, you better hope LRZ is not the one that we have to roll with, at least this season.
Right, for sure. Pete Swizzle with the 2 bomb says Morris or Kingsley who you want starting left tackle. I think it's yet to be determined, right? We got to see more of these guys. Like, just pure gut feeling, I think that Kingsley could win that spot and be your starting left tackle going forward. He could be the future left tackle here. Wanye obviously got to start a little bit last year. Mike, he didn't look great. He didn't look bad, but he didn't look great. And then we saw a little bit of them in their first day of camp with pads. Both of them got beat pretty good off the edge there, with Kingsley going against Mike Dana. And then we saw a one-on-one with Wanye, with Felix kind of tearing him up. So, I mean, they're both coming off to a slow start. So you have the people hitting the panic button already, being like, oh, they better have Donovan Smith on speed dial. Like, hey, let's chill a little bit. It's the first day they had pads on. Not a big deal.
Bro,
but
if I see that one more time.
That's where I'm at, Peace with
That is the most common, like, talking head Chief thing I've ever seen. Like, anybody that thinks they're relevant enough to speak on the Chiefs always is like
us.
I think that Donovan Smith should probably be, on speed dial somewhere. Let's just go ahead and bring. Look,
it's not.
Let
He's
the
old.
Guys develop. We're 2 days into touching people, okay? And when I say touching people, we're
careful.
hitting them. We're not doing what you want to do. Look, Morris and Kingsley both can play in this league. Are they going to be lights out their first and second years? Probably not. But look, Kingsley showed today. He went up against Chris Jones a couple one-on-ones. Chris Jones ate his lunch a few times, and guess what?
Of course.
Kingsley didn't back down, and Kingsley actually done pretty good against him on a few reps. So he's there. Kingsley can also get to the second level. Wanye looks better this year. Wanye's not reaching as much, okay? So
right.
Kingsley and Wanye, I do believe Kingsley will have this left tackle job for the future. But for this particular season, I don't know what they're going to roll with. Both of these guys, by the way, have taken snaps at right tackle.
Well, I'm under the assumption, and I said this a long time ago, Mike, and you kind of agreed with it after I brought it up, but I think maybe the future could look like Kingsley on the left, Wanye on the right, because Juwan Taylor's contract is massive. So we'll see about that.
Dude,
but
I'm telling you right now, Chew Godric, the kid on the IPP pathway program.
Cheech and Chong?
Chew, actually, when I'm seeing film of Chew looks like he can be an offensive tackle in this league. He is looking better, like a lot better.
Yeah.
I would almost like to keep him possibly over Lucas Niang this year. That would be kind of
Mike, you would keep me over Lucas Niang, bro.
For me, that's a fun upgrade to the offensive line. I really like that. And by the way, shout out Mike Caliendo and Hunter Norzad today. Hunter Norzad looks like a flat out beast. So if something doesn't happen with Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey, Hunter Norzad was a pick, wasn't he?
Right. Well, let's get to this 2-bomb from Doug. Kingsley's going to be better going against CJ, right? Of course. I mean, they always come off with, you'll hear this every camp too. All the people that think they're smart, they're like, iron sharpens iron. That'll be like a headline or something. But there's some truth to it, though. I mean, Kingsley obviously is going to get better faster if he's going up against the best defensive tackle in the league.
People only use that when they want to just promote a player.
Yeah.
They don't use that same mentality when you're dogging players,
right.
For example, like when Sky Moore, today, somebody threw a pass, it got broken up. The guy didn't fall for the route. He breaks up the pass. The pass probably shouldn't have been thrown. The 3 people in the comments, Sky, he needs to get out of here. I'm like, what are you talking about? Sky is going up against some of the best corners in the league, one of the top 5 defenses in the league. Okay, iron sharpens iron. That was what you've said 6 freaking years in a row now. But yet when Sky can't
Mike,
beat
it's Sky
iron,
Moore. We know this. We know this already.
It's
Sore
ridiculous.
subject. Doug with another 2-bomb says, so glad we have CJ. He's a beast. Absolutely, man. Not only is he the best defensive tackle in football, and we love watching him wreck games, but he's also out there doing things like this, like making people like Kingsley Suamataia a better player, because they have to figure out how to stop him. They can figure out how to stop a lot of different people. And now I understand that's a little bit different when you try and stop CJ as it is to trying to stop Max Crosby on the edge or something.
CJ Hansen.
But no, he's not. He's talking about Chris Jones, baby. But hey, Mike, appreciate the donos, by the way. You guys reeled them off real quick there. Thanks for all your support. We appreciate that. But real quick, Mike, let's get back into what we were doing. And I believe we were here. And now we're going to go to here at number 3.
Yeah.
The Chiefs took part in some 9-on-7 work during Saturday's session. One segment of practice that's designed to work on the running game specifically is called 9-on-7, which essentially takes the receivers and cornerbacks out of the equation. The drill, which took place on Saturday, featured 9 offensive players and 7 defenders as both sides worked on the ground game. At the same time, the cornerbacks and receivers were on the field competing in one-on-one drills. A few standouts from that period were wide receivers Kadarius Toney, Nikko Remigio, and Phillip Brooks. That's a guy we haven't mentioned yet, but good to see he's doing good things too. And they all hauled in impressive catches. Rookie wide receiver Xavier Worthy also tallied an acrobatic one-handed catch deep down the sideline during the period. And while the league official nearby determined that Worthy didn't get both feet down in bounds, it was still a remarkable play worth noting. In terms of offensive standouts during the 11-on-11 periods, wide receiver Hollywood Brown continued to impress with another strong day. His top play took place early in practice when he made a leaping grab downfield just inside the hash marks. Mike, so a couple things I want to pull away from that real quick. They were saying they do the 9-on-7 so that both sides of the ball can work on the ground game. I think the ground game for the defense is probably more important than the offense right now, because that seems to be like the one thing you can kind of pick out about our defense that needed some improvement, and that was our run defense.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll talk more about the receivers after that because some of them look good. So what do you think about the run game thing? You think our defense is going to have to, like, buck up a little bit this year and start stopping the run a little better?
I mean, I think they're fine with it. I don't think it's nothing that we should be too concerned about. Pennell is back in. He's be here since week 1. I do think Fabian Levette has a chance to make this squad. Like, he's got an outside chance to get on. Spags is going to find a way to do this. You still have Nick Bolton back there. Drew Tranquil's now in his second year. They're both going to get after it. I actually got a little interview question with Drew Tranquil here I'd like to play right here because it kind of goes in with talking about the defense in this question. I'm right there with him, Steve. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think these guys are going to step up. The leadership is going to step up. Spags is going to find a way. And look, I see people in the comments. I see somebody in the comments say that Josh Williams is not a top corner in the league. Give it time. Josh Williams
give it time, baby.
Give it time. Josh Williams by the end of this year will be a top 20 corner. Easily, in my
I would
opinion.
not be surprised at all because we've said this ever since he's been drafted. But he could be like that next guy in the lineage of Charvarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed, guys that come from nothing, go through our system, work with our DB coaches, and end up tearing it up in contract year.
He's got those physical traits, man. He really does.
Yeah, let's hold out for that for sure. Now it could go the other way. He might not develop the way we think, but he's got all the intangibles, and we do a really good job of developing these corners. We've seen
Josh Williams at the end of his rookie contract, when he's going up for his whatever, could definitely 100% be a top. I mean, by the way, he's probably going to be he's top 40 right now anyways. Like, if you look at PFF, he scored probably top 40 or top 50 last year in PFF grades.
Yeah.
Like, again, you don't play as much, but I feel like 2 full years now not having to play behind L'Jarius Sneed and getting that chance to play, I definitely 100% agree he's got all that intangibles.
Well, that, and he has the experience already. They've put him out there against guys like Jamar Chase, et cetera, already. So they kind of stuck him out there into the fire his rookie season, as they did Jalen Watson. So I think both of them could be really good corners. I think Josh Williams has a chance to be a special corner. So that's just where I'm at with it. Mike, we got another 2-bomb from our boy Doug. He says, no, I clicked the wrong one. Look at that. There's so many 2-bombs from Doug. I wanted to go back to that just because you hated Kiss so much. But don't interrupt Magic Mike. Let the boy talk.
For real.
Did I do it? It wasn't me.
No, you're just always interrupting.
I would never, man. I would never do that, Doug. We'll let Mike talk. But, Mike, we also have our boy Kyle with 5.
Let's go.
Gifted, all chiefed up memberships. Appreciate you, brother. If you guys get one of those memberships, make sure to thank him in the chat. But you're a legend for that, Kyle. Thank you very much. Trying to grow that ACU crew up. Be able to give away more things during the members-only live streams.
Absolutely.
But back to what we were talking about, Mike. Back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
The run defense, of course, you gave your thoughts on that. But then they also talked about the receivers during their one-on-one drills. Kadarius Toney with impressive catches, Nikko Remigio, and they also mentioned Phillip Brooks, who we have not mentioned, and a whole lot of people's not mentioning that guy. I mean, obviously,
Phillip Brooks is probably one of the lowest on the depth chart.
Exactly. Like, I mean, the chances of him making the 53-man roster is like a miracle.
Isn't he local? Isn't he local to the Kansas City area?
I'm not for sure. I don't know a whole lot about
I know he went to K-State, but I was thinking he was local. But, Yeah, look, he's probably just like a special teams only guy. And again, he's pretty far down that depth chart, in my opinion. I don't think you have to worry about him making it. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say Phillip Brooks probably got like a 2% chance. And that's probably been generous.
Yeah, it's not much. But
and it's nothing against him. It's just the way it's going to be. But going back to your point, I think there's 3 guys at the top. We all know this. There's Xavier Worthy, there's Marquise Hollywood Brown, and you've got Rashee Rice. And these 3 are the only 3 that are 100% guaranteed to make this roster.
Yeah, they're safe. They're safe.
I am at the point that we have so much wide receiver talent, Steve, that Andy Reid now, and I was saying this a long time ago, that I didn't think he would keep 7. He would go back to 6. I think there's so much talent there, and they know if they put him on the practice squad, they're done. I think they keep 7 out of pure necessity at this point. I'm leaning back more to 7, and also this is going to help with gunners, special teams play, the new kickoff rule. You're going to have all that as well. So I think they're going to go ahead and keep 7. And I'm still thinking Justin Watson is too big of an important piece to say that they're going to cut him. So to me, he's a 4. Kadarius Toney is looking like they are giving him all the reps. He's getting first-team reps, he's getting second-team reps, and he's having himself a good camp. We've already heard that they want to get Toney the ball more early and often. He's in a contract year. He's still got that cheap contract. Toney's not going anywhere. Toney's number 5, right? So there's your 5. You've got 2 more wide receivers. And everybody's under the impression that it's automatically Nikko at this point, and he very well could be there. But we've got a lot of other receivers that are putting up some claims here. You still got Justin Ross, who's had a pretty good camp so far. And a lot of people say, well, Justin Ross does this every year. You're absolutely right. Yeah. You're absolutely right. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that he goes out and performs. Like, aren't we watching camp to see who's performing?
Right. No, I agree. The thing I took away from it, and we already kind of touched on this, is Nico's the one out there making the splash plays when it comes to the bubble guys. Yeah. So he's the one getting everybody horned up. But like you said, coaches watch every little aspect of practice. What if Nico's not run blocking as well as Sky? That's what I'm saying.
We're not going to show highlights of Nikko missing some run blocks, right?
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. But do you think it helps them, though, by having the splash plays, having the fans behind them a little bit?
It helps the fans get horned up about it. I don't
but
know if it actually...
You don't think none of that...
Steve, the fans were horned about Piron last year, and he didn't hardly play at all. They were horned up about Emir Smith-Marset, and he got traded.
Exactly.
The coaching staff do not care what the fans want.
If they did that, and I'm not saying I'm not saying they care what the fans think, but do you think the splash plays, being able to get out there and like make things happen?
Yeah, you're looking for splash plays. I mean, why not? But again,
especially when Andy's wanting to get back to a high-powered offense,
their splash plays are the top 4 wide receivers out there, man. Like if Nikko makes the team, you think how many snaps you think he's getting per game?
Yeah, I really don't know. It just depends. I would assume it would come off of production. How much production can he get fast? Because we know Andy don't like to use those guys a whole lot. To get significant
reps, though, in a game, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have tons of injuries. And there's no way Nikko is going to jump. He's not jumping Justin Watson and Kadarius Toney on the chart right now. So even if Rashee Rice were to get injured or miss time.
So if he makes the squad, like you're saying, he's still going to be wide receiver 6 or 7.
Right. He's going to be like Justin Ross last year. Like we all wanted
to
see
Richie James.
Right, Richie James. And what did he say? I can perform, but they won't even put me in the game.
Yeah,
which he was sort of right.
Yeah, on to observation number 4 from Matt McMullen. That's his name. He said tight end Irv Smith made a handful of impressive catches. So, Mike, real quick before I read this.
Irv Smith sighting.
He showed up. We were just talking about this. Like, where's Irv Smith been? But anyway, he says another area the Chiefs worked on during 11-on-11 segment of Saturday's practice was short yardage, including near the goal line. A standout from that period was veteran tight end Irv Smith, who hauled in 2 touchdown catches, not 1, Mike, but 2 on quick throws from quarterback Carson Wentz, who's trying to make a push for QB1, I think. But the first grab in particular was a physical catch over the middle of the field following what appeared to be a no-look toss from Wentz. Once again, I was just joking right there in case you guys took me seriously, because I'm sure someone out there will. But Wentz looking like a pretty good backup so far. In terms of other focus areas on Saturday,
really,
the Chiefs also worked on a backed up punt scenario, which tasked punter Matt Ariza, the punt god, with a situation in which he needed to punt the ball while standing on his own end zone. Mike, I'm going to stop there because there's more to this segment. But just real quick, Irv Smith showed up. Do you think Irv Smith could possibly make the team go with 4 tight ends? Because he's not going to – I don't think he's making it over any of the other 3.
Well, look, Irv – He's been there. Like, we all made the joke. Like, Irv's not there. He's not even showing up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He's actually been there. Look, he's been doing some he's been working as a fullback on the goal line situations. He's been doing fullback work. So they're sort of using him like an H-back fullback kind of thing. He caught multiple touchdowns today, if I'm not mistaken. He caught multiple touchdowns the other day. He made a beautiful diving catch just 2 days ago. He's a receiving threat. And that's what they went out and got in case they couldn't snag Jared Weiler or any other of the guys in the draft. We knew that was coming. I think Andy very well could go ahead and take the 4 tight ends. And this kind of hurts Crocky J a little bit, right? People that want Crocky, because if Irv Smith can catch the ball and be that kind of weapon, and they've already paid him some money, you know, like, I don't know if they go ahead and just cut him to put on a UDFA fullback when he can actually do fullback work.
Well, here's the thing about that. What have we seen from Carson Steele? Now that the pads are on, I've not seen anything about him.
Yeah, just minimal stuff.
So, I mean,
crazy.
I understand he's not going to have a huge role in the offense, but I mean, he's still going to have to make his case for you need a fullback, or like if Andy even decides to go back that way. Now, he could be RB4. That's a possibility. If they decide to go with 4 tight ends, 4 running backs, that's normal.
So with our premise that we think that they're back maybe to taking 7 wide receivers, now what do you do?
Yeah, you kind of get in trouble there, don't you?
You can't take 7 wide and take 4 tight ends and still expect to take that fullback at that point, I don't think.
Yeah, it's going to get a little hairy, Mike, but it's going to be fun to see what Andy Reid decides to do, because I think he'll make the best decision. Obviously, we all trust Andy Reid. But moving on here, on the topic of special teams, Assistant head coach, special teams coordinator Dave Toub revealed following practice that wide receivers Xavier Worthy, Kadarius Toney, McCole Hardman, Hollywood Brown, and Nikko Remigio were all in the mix as potential punt returners in 2024. Glad to see Sky Moore's not on that list. Toub also added that kicker Harrison Butker will handle the bulk of Kansas City's kickoffs this year, Mike. So everyone thought they were going to go some other route, but Toub simply acknowledged that Justin Reed and LRZ both can do that, and they remain a possibility. But depending on the situation, it's going to be Butker.
That was like a horned up like storyline that like everybody kind of proposed, and then Toub kind of give it some life.
Like, Mike Toub went on his little presser, and he was like, "We might do kicks off with Justin Reed or LRZ." I mean, and hey, look, every freaking YouTube creator out there was just like this.
He has an erection.
Dude, they got all over it quick.
Dude, yeah, for sure. But look, at the end of the day, you know Butker is doing the job. Will there be situations in which you maybe need an extra guy or something like that? Yeah, absolutely. They could look at Justin Reed or Louis Rees-Zammit. But I don't think they were all the time just going to take that spot from Butker. And then, by the way, we've already noticed if he just kicks it out of the back of the end zone, it goes to the 25. Right?
Right.
It's 5 yards. Like, and I still think by the end of the year, if this turns kick returning into some kind of lethal attack that people can't stop because you don't have enough like running room or whatever it is, that there could be a reason. Teams are just going to take a 5 yard. Like, who cares? It's 5 yards, dude.
I agree with that. I think that's kind of what it's going to get to probably. Real quick before we miss this, when our boy Steven James in the house with the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, Steve-O. If y'all get one of those, make sure to thank him in the chat. Y'all put some legendaries in the chat for him. And him and Kyle are both the top dono right now at 25. So just remember, each top dono it's cumulative. So top donor of each live stream gets a mystery gift from ACU. So get on the boards, baby. Get on the boards. Appreciate you, Steve-O. Mike, I think the special teams thing's a little overhyped. I think it's talked about a little too much. I think that is a grain of sand on the beach to what we need to be worried about this season, probably. You know? Like, I think it can. Now, don't get me wrong. It could help if we get some chunk plays from LRZ or whoever, however they decide to go about it. But I really don't think it's going to be like a big game changer.
Do you notice how good we are? How good we have it as Chiefs fans right here in this moment, that we are literally talking about who may kick off, the best kicker in the league, Or might we just do something gimmicky? Like, that is a concern. Or here's another concern. Who's going to be our DB5? Who's going to be our wide receiver frickin' 7? Is LRZ going to be running back 4? Like, we're worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Some other teams out here don't even have a legit wide receiver 2. They don't have a legit, like, our biggest pressing need, and I will say it a billion times, right now in this moment after watching 2 days of pads, our biggest pressing need is a left tackle. Who's going to be left tackle, and can they hold up?
Right.
That is number one. Is Joe Tooney going to be healthy when the season starts? But I'll say this: Mike Caliendo has been a beast filling in for him.
Yeah, I'm not real worried about that.
Worried
I don't
about
think you don't have to rush Tooney back, right?
Right. More worried about the left tackle situation because, again, Wanye is serviceable, and Kingsley is going to be a rookie. He will do rookie crap. Just straight up. He's going to look like a rookie at most times.
Yeah,
I mean, get there. But this year, okay.
Kingsley's never had to go against Max Crosby. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kingsley's never had to go against Bosa. Like, it's a whole different world for that kid. So no matter how good he's going to do, those guys are going to beat him several times a game because they're the best of the best.
We all know Mike Dana is not a top-tier pass rusher in this league. He's a good pass rusher. He's a serviceable rotation guy. But Mike Dana's eating his lunch.
I think that's another thing, and I'll say this before the season even starts. Just preface this. If Kingsley's your starting left tackle, do not pull that thing where halfway through the season you guys are ready to cut him or get rid of him because he's let up some sacks. Because he's a freaking rookie going against the best defensive edge rushers in the league, right? He's going to go against all the best ones and really good ones early on. So, I mean, it's going to take some time for him to adjust. So, I say have patience with the boy. Just do that.
I agree. I think Kingsley's fine, but I do think that's the most pressing need right now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That left tackle is the most pressing, the most scary.
I think it's the most important, right?
Yeah.
Brent says, how is Fabian Levette? Haven't heard much about him. So we love him. Both of us love him. Like Mike had said right after the draft was over, hey, Fabian Levette's available. We should get him as a UDFA. So good on the Chiefs for listening to Mike for once. But they ran and grabbed him. Big, massive dude. Very, very good college tape. Surprised he wasn't drafted. But, you know, earlier we talked about the defensive line and the run defense. And I think Fabian Levette could be that guy that kind of fills that hole there. I mean, you know, we have Derek Nottie, who's done that for years now. But Derek Nottie is Derek Nottie. You know what you got. You think Fabian Levette could...
He's injured right now, too.
Right. Do you think Fabian Levette could eventually be more than Nottie?
I think he's got just as much potential to do what Nottie's done at this point in his career. Nottie's not lived up to what we thought he was going to do. Has Nottie been average? No, I think he's been slightly better than average in certain seasons. But he's not been the big home run guy that they thought they were going to get there. Like that big, kind of like the way Mike Pennell plays when he gets in the game. Like, he's a force. You don't really see that from Nottie sometimes. So, but look, you've got an aging Mike Pennell. You got Nottie, who is he's playing on a year-to-year contract, and he's injured right now. You've got the kid they traded the Raiders for, Neil Farrell.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've not really got to see a lot out of Neil Farrell.
But we liked his college tape.
Right.
He was really good in
Chris
college
Jones,
at LSU.
Fabian Levette, and I'm sure there's one or two more big uglies in there. Matt Dickerson's probably there.
Of course.
But to be honest, if they take 4, I think Fabian Levette's got a good shot of getting on there. He is a physically imposing monster. Like, he is ripped, and he is huge. You remember when everybody was going crazy on the Daniel Wise hype last year?
Yeah, I do. And until we went to camp and what's his name, Joe Cullen, just ripped him apart.
Absolutely.
He hated him some Daniel Wise.
He did. He said, Daniel, get your ass on the line, Daniel.
Heck yeah, Mike. We got Ronell Goodwin here. Good to see you, Ronell. He says, Max Crosby made me never want to see Wanye tackle again. That Christmas game was bad. Let's hope he got a lot better, though. And I think that's the way to look at it, Ronell. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying about Kingsley. Max Crosby is going to beat you. Max Crosby is going
to beat the better ones.
Max Crosby is going to win against Trent Williams a lot. Like, he's the best. He's one of the best defensive ends in football.
Don't people forget that the defensive players get paid too? They get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like, man, I'm telling you, like, these are guys, like I said, they could be going up against Trent Williams. They're still going to win a big percentage of those snaps. So you damn well bet they're going to win against a rookie. Right. So, I mean, it's not, is it going to happen? That's fine. We know what's going to happen. We know these young guys are going to get beat by these guys. Like, it's going to take time to develop. Like, if they've been in the league and they've been doing this for 2 years and they're still allowing it, that's when you got a big time issue. But as long as it's not, as long as it's not disrupting the entire game to the point to where it's like, hey, somebody get them off the field.
Yeah,
I think it'll be fine.
Dude, here's a few things about the tackles, by the way, and I'm glad you brought that up, Ronell. Again, I touched on this earlier. I've seen Wanye a little bit. Wanye looks better this year than he did last year. At any point, he looks better. In camp and doing his one-on-ones and different things.
They're going to continue to get better,
He
right?
does look better. He looks lighter on his feet. He's not getting on his toes as much. He's not reaching. He's not punching at bad times. He's getting his hands in the right positions. I'm telling you, Chu Godric is also doing better. Those two guys can play. Kingsley, here's where Kingsley is having his problems in camp so far. And this is the first, and this is why you will continue to get beat. And this is why Wanye got beat by Max Crosby a lot. They are not the first ones. When the ball gets snapped, they're not moving first. Like, they need to get in a room with Jawan Taylor and learn how to get a snap count going.
Right, and you say that, that's funny because most people's probably freaking out right now. Like, you talk about the guy that gets flagged all the time?
No, he does it very well. Look, they picked on him last year, and who cares? Kingsley needs to learn that. Kingsley is, when you watch him in one-on-one drills,
Lane Johnson style, baby.
Yeah, the defensive ends are moving well before Kingsley can react, and he's getting behind. Kingsley will learn that snap count. He's going to learn this. He's going to be more
reset the back foot, correct? Because that's a legal move.
Right. It's a legal move, and they'll get with him. Jawan Taylor does this well. Jawan Taylor, I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I'm going to say this. And, Steve, you might agree with me or you might not. Jawan Taylor this season, in my opinion, could be pushing for a Pro Bowl spot.
Jawan Taylor is going to be much, much better this year. Second time in the system.
I think he will get some Pro Bowl votes.
I think if they stay off his ass and they don't like put him on a highlight reel and be like, "Hey, look, this guy might be going offside,"
right?
Because they were bored. Then yeah, I think that definitely. I'm right there with you.
Chris Collinsworth about anything.
Well, that's the funny part, man, and we've pointed out all year, and everybody else pointed it out. Really good tackles do that. Lane Johnson has done it for years. Like, it is not illegal. You can reset. Yeah, Trent Williams does it. You can reset your back foot. You can reset your back foot. That's not going off sides. What they do is they time that out. They bend the rule a bit. It's kind of like you guys that watch the NBA, which I know there's not many because it stinks for the most part. But you know how the gather step. Like, you can take 3 steps now if you do it right because it's not breaking the rule.
It's kind of like a Euro step or something like that. Like
so that's exactly what they do. They are within the confines of the rules.
Also, by the way, people don't understand a lot of let me find let's do a demonstration here for a second. Say this is the football. Look, this is the football. Let's say Creed Humphrey, and I'm doing this backwards. This is the football, and let's say Creed Humphrey's gripped the football. Here he is. When Creed Humphrey makes this motion back to Mahomes, that's when everybody thinks that the tackles have to move, okay? They don't. When Creed Humphrey grabs this, when that
nose goes forward.
Yeah, he can say this and then go. He can say this and then go. That's part of his snap, technically. So if Creed Humphrey gets up there and his snap is this, forward and move, when he goes forward, the ball does not have to be moving. That counts as the ball moving.
If it's all in one motion.
It's one motion.
If it's in one motion.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, people will say, look, the ball wasn't even out of his hand. The ball don't have to be out of his hand, but the ball just has to be in motion. So, I mean, that's just a quick little, thanks, Julia. I looped it up really good before I grabbed my colored index cards, just somebody.
Yeah. Oh, work it, Mike.
Go away, Baton. Damn it.
You got busted.
It would have been worse if I'd have had my giant pin.
You look like that guy that worked for CNN that got caught baiting on the live stream or the Zoom call or something. Yeah, you remember.
Yeah, the Zoom call baiter.
Yeah.
Dude, who gets so horned up on a Zoom call? Like, wait, was he like, he must have been like just tearing it up, and then he's like, oh man, it's 2:30. I got to jump into my Zoom meeting. Like, what happened?
What are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing in your life? Especially, he's like a 50-year-old man. Like, if you're at like 50 plus and you're sitting around baiting at the computer screen when you're supposed to be working, come on.
Look, save the pulling the weeds for the gardening, okay? Like, you don't have to do it on live stream. Like, we ain't wanting to see it, but
yeah, let's get back into this, man.
Good
let's get
question,
back into
though. By the way, whoever brought that up, I forget the name.
right now.
Right now. Yeah, good question, man.
But hey, let's get back to this. It's our last one. Point number 5, observation number 5 of camp today. Says, here's a look at Saturday's injury report. That's what people want to know, right? The Chiefs were without wide receiver Justin Watson, which Micah mentioned earlier, for the foot for the second straight practice on Saturday after Watson originally left Wednesday's session early. And some good news, however, Watson was spotted catching footballs from the jugs machine following practice. So obviously, if he was going to be out for an extensive period of time, he probably wouldn't hobble out there and use the jug machine. So that's a good look. Additionally, cornerback Najee Johnson left Saturday's practice early with a hamstring injury, which you mentioned already. As for the players who have yet to practice in St. Joe, safety Justin Reed with the quad, defensive end B.J. Thompson, who suffered the medical condition or emergency, and they're both on the non-football injury illness list. Cornerback Jalen Watson, defensive end Charles Omenihu, defensive tackle Derek Noddy, and offensive guard Joe Tooney are still on the physically unable to perform list. And then next up, the Chiefs will take the field on Sunday for the 7th practice of training camp. The practice will be open to the general public, but even though most days are free to attend, tickets must be reserved online ahead of time. So if you're planning on going, get your tickets. Nothing new to the injury report. That's pretty much what it's been, right? Like nothing crazy other than, I guess, Najee Johnson now having a hamstring issue as opposed to the knee issue.
Yeah, the hammy, look, you're going to get stuff like that, though, like for real. Like, they're starting to use, like, you're lining up, you're going, you're actually hitting, you're doing things. Those twitchy muscles are going to have those problems, but he's going to be fine. I think he'll be fine. If anything, we knew Najee should be making a team. I think he was one of the top 4 corners. So now you're going to get a little more clarity. What I seen today that I thought was kind of wild is once Najee kind of left, they ended up filling it with the other corner that nobody's ever hardly spoken about, and they actually put him in with the first team. Keith Trailer. I don't remember his name. Trailer. Off the top of my head, I can't think. But if I'm not mistaken, they had signed him in the offseason this past year, and he looked okay when we signed him. I didn't think he really had a shot of doing anything, but they put him right in with the first team, like right off the rip. Now, I do know at this point, they're just wanting to see everybody in every situation. That's the way you get your metric, but I thought that was pretty telling today that they didn't go to somebody different there.
Yeah, Kyle says Najee going to have to get with a trainer that specializes in leg strength. I'm surprised that I have not seen everyone on X being like, man, Nazee's just fine. He just needs to get with Bobby Stroop. Like, that's another thing they like to pull out that makes them seem smart.
Oh, it was Keith Taylor. Keith Taylor, by the way, 6'3", 195, dude. That's a big boy to put in the slot. Playing nickel.
Yeah. But
some size, though.
That pretty much wraps up camp for the day. It's kind of all the highlights, right? Anything stick out from today to change your mind about anything from yesterday, or is it just kind of run-of-the-mill right now? I mean, other than just, obviously, it's good to see them out there with pads on.
Yeah, I don't think anything – nobody moved the needle today, in my opinion, I don't think. What?
Harvey said you ain't in your right mind while baiting. That's why he was on. That's why he was on that Zoom call going to town.
Yeah, he's going ham.
He had the horn brain.
Yeah, he's tickling the root. I don't know what he was doing, but he was getting at it, dude. But yeah, I don't think anybody moved the needle or anything today. And not the one thing, and again, knock on wood, the biggest injury we've had so far has been that hammy. That's the one thing we need to focus on. Like, let's just get through this, like, injury-free. I love the fact that Kadarius Toney's playing. He looks like he's having fun. He looks like all the drops and the mental issues are behind him. Now, look, that's not saying that if he goes out and he, preseason game number 1, he flubs up another pass right off the rip. He may get right back in his head. Who knows? But for now, he looks to be past it a little bit.
Speaking of Toney, Mike, Health Hacker says Toney playing McKinnon's old role is a no-brainer. He's 10 times more dynamic and explosive. So some people have mentioned that since he's been running out of the backfield with the running backs. Maybe he could be the new Jerick McKinnon. My only problem with this here is he is going to catch the ball just like Jerick McKinnon. He's more explosive than Jerick McKinnon. He's going to get more yards after catch than Jerick McKinnon. But is Kadarius Toney going to be able to pass protect?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. He's gonna get demolished.
I don't think he will.
Now, it's funny saying that because Jarrett McKinnon's probably smaller than him, right?
I still think they're looking for Clyde for that row, though, right?
I think so. Health Hacker, I don't think you're far off from the fact that they might use him out of the backfield and leak out the backfield a little bit. I could see that with Kadarius Toney. But I think as far as just third down back, I bet you Clyde gets a lot of that because people forget Clyde is a receiving back. That's what he was known for. That's why Patrick Mahomes wanted him. That's what he did at LSU.
Man, for fun, I went back and watched some of Clyde's tape in his rookie year, and he was kind of explosive.
Clyde is not nearly as
bad. He took that injury. That injury's what did it to him.
Well, here's what did it to Clyde. He got in the bad graces of Chiefs Kingdom, and sometimes we can be pretty unforgiving. I'm sorry, but like if the mob part of it, I guess the mob crowd of Chiefs Kingdom, he got in their grasp, bro. He's going through the Sky Moore. He's going through the Kadarius Toney. The Clyde come before that, right? I mean, like it's just the same thing. Clyde actually is a good player. If he can stay healthy, that's the big thing, though, Mike. Like you hit the nail on the head. He's got to stay healthy, but he could be that receiving back that people think we're going to be missing with Jarrett McKinnon easily.
Very possible. Steve, if you had to give a guess, do you think they're taking just 4 running backs? Do you think they take 4 running backs and the fullback, or do you just think they go 4 running backs?
It's a good question.
And then who do you think it is, the 4?
If I had to guess...
just right now, at this point in camp, what would you think? Like, who would you put as your 4?
In my head, I love Carson still. I like the idea of having the fullback back in the mix because Andy utilized them. And they were always, helped the team. They really did. Like Sherman, even the guy we just had, Mike Burton. Like short yardage plays. Sometimes they hit them on pass plays. I like the idea of having that fullback. But I think where we stand at this moment, I don't know about him or Irv Smith because they do like taking the 4 tight ends.
Do you remember they were doing some H-back stuff with Noah Gray last year?
Right. Well, here's what I think though. I think ultimately, at the moment, they're taking 4 running backs. They always take 4, and I think LRZ is going to be your 4. And obviously, he's going to be used mostly for special teams, and he'll have a play in the playbook here and there to get him out there and throw teams off a little, try to make something happen. But it's going to come down to that. If they decide that they're going to keep Irv Smith, then I think that Crocky J is on the outs to the practice squad or to be poached or whatever might happen with him. If they decide to go 3 tight ends, then I'm good with going to the fullback. I like it.
Right. I think the 4 running backs right now it's looking like this. I think it's Pacheco, Clyde. It's really looking like Deneric Prince. Look, Deneric Prince had himself another good day today, by the way. So Deneric Prince is getting a lot of that push. I like Amani Bailey. I just don't know if Amani Bailey is going to have enough to get him over the hump here and get him onto the squad. So for me, number 4 is probably going to be LRZ. I still think LRZ may find himself on the practice squad. The more and more I'm watching him with the full pads on and playing, and this is going to really, again, we've still got 3 weeks of camp, 4 weeks of camp. We've got a lot of preseason games, obviously. He's going to need these. I think LRZ needs these because from the limited action he's gotten, and wouldn't you expect this, obviously? It's not dogging him. These are some of the first team reps of football he's ever played in his life.
Right.
Of course he's going to look like trash. He's not playing against Pee Wee. He's playing against the best of the best, and this is the first few reps he's ever taken. He's got a huge learning curve. And to be honest, this is what I'm looking at. And I don't know if this works or not. I've tried to find this out. International Player Pathway protects a spot on the practice squad, right? That cannot be poached. Chu Godric is that protected player right now. If Chu Godric beats out Lucas Niang and they put him on the active 53, does that open up another spot for an IPB protected player in which LRZ can now go to the practice squad and learn for the week, or learn for the year, not the week, my bad.
Just for a week.
Learn for the year, and then he can be called up week to week if needed. That is what I'm looking at right now because I believe that Chu Godric is looking good enough that if you were going to consider taking Lucas Niang on this 53, I think Chu Godric now maybe gets that. And that's just me thinking outside the box. And I don't know if you can do that or not. I talked to Marcus Dash about that the other day. He said he didn't know either. So nobody really knows this little cheat to win kind of thing I've come up with.
I mean, if it's
But
not,
if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying,
if
baby.
you're allowed to do it, it's not cheating, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Ronell makes a good point, bringing up Clyde. He made that ridiculous catch in the back of the end zone last year.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That just shows you what Clyde can do as a receiving back. And like I said, go back and watch his LSU tape. That's what they did with him. That's why Patrick liked him.
Yes.
And then real quick, Mike, we do have a where'd it go? We got a freaking 5-bomb from Kyle here. He overtook Steven, so you can update the top dono there. But he says, so horned up to finally have some football, some real football to talk about. Training camp gets us started. Yeah, man, off season's fun. Don't get me wrong. Like some aspects of it, should I say? Now the Super Bowl parades are fun. Draft is fun, but other than that, it's a lot of speculation. Like speculating, just talking about stuff we don't even know about yet. So I'm right there with you, man. I'm super pumped that there's actually some stuff being put on tape that we can get our eyes on. We can evaluate. We can make more informed decisions or talk about different talking points that we have, but now we have something to go off of.
Yeah. Okay, look, check this out. This is kind of just back to what I was saying. Help me decipher what this is saying. It says that for IPP players, it says first, the team can keep their IPP player on their 53-man roster. So that means Chu Godric don't even have to go. He's protected on the 53. So that means you technically get a 54th man? I think. So it says if they waive the player, he now goes through the NFL's waiver system, which allows him to be claimed by another team. If he clears waivers, the team can then sign the IPP player to their practice squad. If they do, they may elect to take an exemption for the IPP player, giving them an extra spot on their practice squad. Okay, so it don't say. So that's what it was saying. So you can take the IPP player. He can make the 53-man, but you don't get the extra man. If they have to waive him like everybody else. If he clears, he goes to the practice squad, and if you get your IPP protected guy on the squad, he gives you the extra practice squad player. So if they was to put Chu on practice, even though he's protected, if they cut him from the 53, he can be picked up by somebody else. If he makes it to our practice squad, he's just a free spot. That's what that means.
All I got from this was a little bit of IPP on the PP.
A little IPP on the PP, baby.
That's all I got from it. Yeah, we'll see how that all goes, man, for sure. Once again, appreciate you guys being here today. Wasn't planned, so I'm glad that you guys could make it in. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to be here for a few more minutes, so if you have any questions, go ahead and get those in, and we'll try to get to all you guys we can in the chat. Good to see you, Melissa. I see you out there. I think you got my email. Man, we were trying so hard to make that work with our schedule while we're in KC, but we couldn't do it. But we would like to keep that in mind for the future. So maybe a meetup in King City,
yes,
a little north of KC sometime. That will be fun. But yeah, it's going to be a interesting few days for us. We're going to be very, very busy. So tried to make it work, but just couldn't do it. And speaking of Melissa, she says, hope Yang doesn't get traded. Steve will be doing the podcast himself, and Mike will start a new one for the team that picks up Yang. Hey, dude, you're going to leave me?
Yeah.
Mike's
I don't
going
know
to
if I
start.
would do, like, it would just be like a, why did we pick this guy up kind of podcast. Maybe I'll just start one called Yang.
Well, actually, like, what would be, do you know any of, like, the XFL's team names or anything?
Good Lord, no. I know that there was one called, like, the Stallions or something.
So Mike's going to start his own channel called All Stallioned Up when Lucas Niang goes out of the league because he's not that great. Like,
I want to find one.
know?
What's a UFL team?
I don't know. Didn't St. Louis have like a? I don't. Is
They
that
had like
UFL?
the Hawks or something.
I don't know. There's so many different leagues and they put them all together. Who the heck
Here we
even
go.
knows?
UFL teams: the Arlington Renegades, the Birmingham Stallions, the DC Defenders, the Houston Roughnecks, the Memphis Showboats, the Michigan Panthers, San Antonio Brahmas, and the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Battlehawks. That's it. That's the one I was trying to. All battlehawked up, baby.
I could say all hawked up, Hawk Tua
Hawk
on that
Tua.
thing. Hey, I'll call it Hawk Tua on Yang. This is gonna be great, dude. Thanks for the idea, Melissa. Hawk Tua on Yang is going to be the greatest podcast ever if it gets dropped and picked up by the Battlehawks.
Mike, we had 2-bomb from Doug. Another 2-bomb. Doug, you the man, by the way. Thanks for the support. He says,
Appreciate you, brother.
hashtag 3-peat, baby. Let's freaking go. Man, what do you think, Mike? Just early, way too early. But
are you going to ask me if we're 3-peating?
Are we 3-peating?
We're 4 or 5-peating, baby, at this point.
Do you think this team this year, legitimately, because we've both said that they've improved.
This team is better than any team that Mahomes has had so far.
I think so too, dude.
But it's the NFL, and you can be beat any given week. There are good players everywhere. You could be off your game one week. I'm going to be honest.
We got you, Doug. We got you.
People can also get games swayed by officiating too. You kind of seen that with the Packers this past year.
Can you believe they paid Jordan Love all that money, bro?
That's what I was going to say.
What are
so
they
many
doing?
Packers fans have come at us all offseason for
We've
some
had a
reason
lot.
because they won that game and they were like, Jordan Love owns you guys.
Jordan Love is
one
Patrick
freaking time,
Mahomes'
bro.
daddy. I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Doing
Get out of here with that garbage. I can't believe they just wasted that much money on that man. I think he's an okay
Tua?
quarterback.
Like, what is going on? Do you
Yeah.
realize everybody that's getting paid all this money cannot win anything?
Yeah. Hey, Melissa, just email. I'll check it. Email. We'll check it out. Let's see. Have we met Mahomes? No, have not met Mahomes in person.
I've met Mahomes at training camp.
Yeah, you actually talked to him. I've been
talked to
around.
him.
I've been around him. It's not like I was like, "Hi, Patrick. Nice to meet you." Let's see. What else we got going on here? Try to get all this chat in real quick before we take off for the day. I don't see anything pressing. I see a lot of Hawk Tua in going on. All hawked up.
Oh, everybody's hawked up, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, real quick before we do head out, though, for those of you guys that are here tonight, I do want to bring this up if I can find it real quick. We are going to be in Kansas City and at training camp on the 6th of August. So we'll be at training camp on August 6th in St. Joe. August 7th, we'll be doing our Chew with the Crew event, the second annual. So Chew with the Crew 2, part 2. That'll be the 7th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Zarda in Blue Springs. So if you'd like to come hang out, come to Zarda, order yourself something nice to eat, get you some drinks, and let's hang out. Let's have a good time. It'll be fun. We're going to have some posters that we're going to be giving away to you guys, and it'd be nice to meet everybody. We met a lot of people last year, and it was fun. It's really cool getting to put names to faces to names, I should say. So, yeah, it's cool. So come on out, hang out with us. It'll be a good time. And don't miss it. Don't miss it, Mike.
Don't miss it. I don't think people are going to get there. They're going to get there. They're going to have a good time, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. There'll be some other creators showing up as well. We've sent some invites out to about 4 or 5. We'll see who all shows up. Steve-O with a 3-bomb says, Bingo Hustle, best damn podcast in the kingdom. Let's go, Steve-O. You know it, baby.
Dude, we're trying to get to 50K. Is that what you said? 50K.
50K before the Super Bowl was what we've
50K
decided.
before the Super Bowl. We'll see.
Did that like mess with your brain so bad you had to say it like the Micro Machines guy?
Yeah. 50K before the Super Bowl.
Like, I don't know if people remember the Micro Machines commercial, though. We always reference it. We reference it, but, I mean, our crowd's about our age. A good age to know Micro Machines, right?
Yeah.
Julia says, ACU, we take ass and kick names, baby. There we go, Julia. Dang. You got to watch Julia. If you see her in the chat, you better be looking behind you every once in a while. She'll sneak up on you. You got to watch her. Steve-O says 70K.
I would like, so I don't know what we got. Dude, we got a lot of stuff coming up here pretty soon. Like, dude, the season's going to kick off before we know it. It's going to be wild.
It's crazy because I
wild.
feel like I work all day, every day from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed now, and it's just getting started, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, things are about to get wild and interesting. So, oh, well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. It's always fun. It's football season, baby. Got our boy Shane Boring with the 8. Appreciate you, Shane. He says, hot take, we take 7 wide receivers, and Ross makes the 7th spot. And yes, we 3-peating. What do you think, Mike? Do you think it's a hot take? I mean, I guess it would be considered a hot take, Shane, but I'm not, like, I wouldn't be surprised by it, personally.
Look, we've talked. We think there's 5. I think there's 5 right now that aren't cuttable. I think it's the top 3, and I think it's Watson, and I think it's Kadarius Toney. That's your top 5. So if they take 2 more, it's going to be between who? Sky, Justin Ross, Mecole Hardman, Nikko Remigio. You've also got Montrell Washington. You've still got what's his name? The boy from Clemson we drafted that can't ever make the team.
The Brooks kid we were talking about.
Yeah,
Phillip?
you got Brooks. You've got why do I always forget his name? The kid that we drafted out of Clemson.
Oh, Cornell Powell.
Cornell Powell.
Why would you ever forget about Cornell Powell?
Well, what? Why? Let me think. He's made exactly 0 plays.
Look, I support Cornell Powell because he's a chief, even if he is a practice squad chief. But good grief, man. If there's not a forgettable receiver on this team, it's Cornell Powell.
Don't you think, though, that the 4 has to be the 4 that's fighting for the 2? There's 2 spots open and 4 people fighting for him. And the 4 is Nico, Mecole. Let's call him Nico, Miko, J. Cole, and that's Justin Ross.
Asshole.
And then who's that?
I don't know. Sky Moore right now. He's like, get it together,
A-ho.
buddy.
So you got A-Ho, J. Cole, Miko, and Nico. Okay, that's your 4. That's your 4 holes. We got to get it down to 2.
Get it together. Appreciate the 8, Shane, by the way. Thanks for the support, brother. Mini Ninja says, I just subscribed for the
Let's
3-peat. Come along for the ride, baby. It's going to be a wild one this year.
Is that a Doge?
We're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, I thought it was a Doge doggy.
Mike, we're going to have a lot of fun this season in this 3-peat run, baby. It's going to be a good time. So,
yeah, it's going to be a good time.
If you're here right now and you have not subscribed, do yourself a favor and do what Mini Ninja just did. Be a mini ninja and hit that subscribe button. And let's hang out for the season. It's going to be a good time. Brad's late to the party. Did the deep ball connect today? I don't know. They did one-on-one drills. They had some guys making some good catches out there.
There was a few deep balls.
Better late than never, Brad.
Yeah. Montrell Washington had a huge one today. So
we're glad you came in so we could acknowledge you, but you're going to have to scroll back and watch this bad boy because we're about to head out of here. But appreciate all you guys. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. Thanks so much for everybody that donated. You guys are the real ones. We appreciate that much. And also, if you have not became a member yet, you haven't been, what are you waiting for? We're giving away a signed Rashee Rice jersey on our next Members Only live stream. So early in August, we're going to do our Members Only live stream. One of you will win a signed Rashee Rice jersey. Also, you can go over to patreon.com/allchiefedup, which I'm still trying to get videos uploaded to for you. They're locked, loaded, ready to go. Just having a little trouble right now. But it's $1 a month to be a patron. Patreon.com/allchiefedup. $1 a month. And we're giving away a signed Tony Richardson jersey to one of those lovely patrons this month, yep. Mike. So get over there. Win yourself a T-Rich jersey, baby. It's signed and personalized for ACU. So get your hands on it. It's going to be fun. I try to snatch all those up. I try to keep them for myself, but Mike won't let me. He says we have to give them out to y'all.
We have to.
It would look good hanging like right over here, though. A little Rashee Rice. I could put a little Hot Wheel Lamborghini right above him. It'd be awesome.
Don't.
Little Corvette.
It's bad karma.
That's my, real quick before we leave, that's my fantasy football team name this year is Rice Racing. And I have him, like his head's on a NASCAR driver's body. Is it too soon?
That's way too soon.
I thought it was pretty good. Everybody else seemed to enjoy it.
You should have made something off of like Dick Trickle.
Mike, Kyle put the 2 bomb in here, and he's the top donor today. And he said, you know what, I'm going to add 2 more and send it to Gary Holland. Kyle, you're the man. Gary is a real one. Gary's always here, modding it up, asking good questions, just here all the time. Love it.
I'll send that. Yeah, I'll get him something. Gary, just email us your stuff, man.
Heck yeah, man. That's awesome, Kyle. You're the man. But real quick, too, just want to say I appreciate all you mods, Chiefer, everybody that's here today, Gary. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you.
Julia Gulia? Is it Julia mod?
Yeah, she is. She's the evil mod that you have to watch out for. Can't even, like, relax and watch the show because you have to watch out for Julia
instantly. Just devil.
She's the devil. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
hair cause a sight for my soul.